You thought it was just me here. Tricked ya! We're gonna do story time today. The first story time is gonna be how we met, which is actually pretty long. So, let's just jump right in. Do it with me, just jump.
Jump right in.
Yeah, there we go. We actually grew up on the same street. We just lived on opposite sides. We went to the same school for 1 year, but we're 3 years apart, so we didn't run into each other. But I'm convinced that it's a good thing. It's a God thing, probably, because he was insane. Him and his brothers were just like wild. The stories I hear of them, I'm just like, how are you still alive? So I'm convinced that if I would have known him back then and I ran into him now, I would have been like, that guy's crazy, I'm not talking to him. We were going through my yearbook and I like flipped the page and I was just like, wow, this kid looks like you. He's like, that is me. And I was just like, what? What was your impression of me the first time you ever saw me?
I loved you.
He remembers what I was wearing the first time he ever saw me. Kind of creepy, but it's okay. My first impression of him was that he was a hot mess.
At least you said hot.
Well, not in that way. The first time I met him, he had this crazy afro. I'll put a picture in right here. And I was just like, I don't know who that guy is, but he needs a haircut. Then he got a haircut and he just like shaved the sides and kept the top, which was not any better. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this guy, he needs some help in his life. But then he came in with this haircut that he has now, and I was just like, oh, okay. But even then, like I was like, yeah, I guess he's kind of attractive, but like that's as much as I'll think about him. That goes into the story of how we met. So the gym that we went to was right behind the church that we go to. So him and his friend Jay were working out and they realized that they couldn't play music because I was using the Spotify account at my graduation party. So then they're like, sure, let's just go over there. So I didn't even invite them, they just showed up. Since they showed up at my graduation party, I invited them to my birthday party, which was like a day or two after, I can't remember. They showed up there like an hour late, but they brought me donuts. So I was just like, whatever, you guys can stay.
Were we that late?
Yeah, you guys were so late. I thought you guys weren't coming. And then, so there's a park that's right next to our house. So we, like, everyone who was at my birthday party pretty much walked to the park. And then this girl I was with, she had to leave. So I was like, hey, could someone walk us back? And I remember thinking in my head, I was like, I low-key want Peter to walk us back. And then I was just like, why do I want him? So he walked us back, and then, funny story, we were walking back, and this Rottweiler, who's off a leash, his owner is like nowhere to be found, comes charging at us, and he freaking gets behind me. Like, we're walking on this path, and he's like, dodges it, gets behind me, and I was just like, I really thought I was gonna lose a leg that day.
I ain't getting eight.
He wouldn't have protected me. It's fine. So then we went back to my house, and this guy Andrew, who actually ended up marrying us, we were in 2 separate rooms, me and Peter were, and Andrew was with me. He's like, do you like that Peter guy? And I was just like, no, heck no. He's way too old. He's weird. No.
Ugly.
No. I didn't think he was ugly. And then he's like, all right. So then I went in the other room where Peter was at, and I just remember like looking at him like, do I like him? Maybe I do. But then I asked him, I was like, how old are you, Peter? And he's like, I'm 20. And I was like, that's 3 years difference. Like, that's just too much. It's weird. That was our first interaction that we had, and when I realized I liked him. But the thing is, I think it was like a week or 2 after that, I went on this senior high retreat in New Mexico with my church group. I remember thinking that it was too much work. I didn't really want a relationship. I just graduated high school, all of these things. And I remembered that we weren't allowed to have our phones on this trip. So then I was like, this will be good. Whatever we had, it will just kind of like fizzle out. I'll come back, we'll be friends, it'll be fine. And he was hoping the same exact thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I felt bad. I didn't tell him this right away because I like felt bad. I was like, I actually really didn't like you for like a minute. But then he's like, I didn't either. I was like, okay. So, I went on this trip and I was a leader, so I got to keep my phone on me. And I remember thinking, literally the first night, I was just like, I need to text Peter. I have to text him. Like, I really want to. So I texted him the whole week, and then we got back. He left for New Jersey the same day I got back. So then I remember when he was in New Jersey, I was just like, frick, I miss him. Like, I actually think I like this guy. That was when I realized that I actually liked him. When did you realize you liked me?
What do you mean when I first saw you?
What about, like, when did you realize you actually wanted to date me?
Probably that same night that you came over before I went to Jersey.
You think so?
Because you came over before I got on an airplane.
Yeah. But then he came back and he took me on our first date to the zoo. And guess what? He was a freaking hour late.
I don't remember that.
I specifically remember it because you told me not to eat breakfast. So I woke up, I showered, I combed my hair, I put on makeup, I had a cute outfit on, I was ready to go, and then I'm sitting here starving. And he's like, sorry, I'll be there in a minute. Like 30 minutes later, I'm like, where are you at? And he's like, oh, sorry, I'll be there in a minute. I'm just like, what the heck? Little did I know that that would never ever stop. He still does that. And so that was our first date. He took me to the zoo. It was a lot of fun. I don't have any pictures. I think I have one picture of a giraffe. And that's it. That was our first date, but we didn't start dating until
2 months or a month after that?
No, wait. May, June, 2 months after that. He'll tell the story about how he asked me out. And go.
I like you. And I want you. And I'm gonna get you. You could do this the easy way or the hard way. Your choice. The rest is history.
That's not what happened. I guess I'll tell the story. I have a freaking cold and he's making me talk. Oh, you don't actually care. Whatever. So the story of how we started dating, we were at Andrew's house and we had a game night there. So they live super far west, and in town more like towards the east, there was a huge hailstorm. Like, I'm sure you guys heard about it. Wherever you're at, you probably heard about it. And so we decided to stay there pretty late, and then when we left, I got in the car and Peter's like driving and looking down at his calendar. Okay, here's the other thing. We have a shared calendar. We've had a shared calendar after like a month when we started hanging out because he was annoyed that he didn't know my schedule. So we made a shared calendar and then we would put our schedules in there so he could, know what I'm doing. I can easily blah, blah, blah. So I like look over and he's like in the calendar while he's driving. And I'm just like, can you pay attention? He's like, sorry, I just need to put something in. And then he like puts his phone down. And then he reaches behind the
seat.
The seat, thank you.
Yeah.
And he pulls out a donut, which back then, donuts were my favorite thing to eat, like in general, besides donuts. Besides chicken. And so he pulled out a donut. I was like, wow, thanks. And I didn't think anything of it. That's the kind of relationship we had. He's like, oh, I got you a donut. I'm like, thanks. And then he's like, have you gotten any notifications on your phone yet? And I was just like, no. And then he's like, oh, that's weird. And what he was trying to do is normally when you have a shared calendar and you put something in, it shows up on the other person's phone, but my phone is stupid and it didn't. So then he's like, oh, could you just look at the calendar for today? Or something like that. And then it said, will you be my girlfriend? And I was just like, yes, I'll be your girlfriend.
Did you cry?
No.
Did you cry?
I didn't cry. And then he went back behind the scene and pulled out some flowers. So that was how he asked me to be his girlfriend. And
that was the first time we ever held hands.
Yes. I remember that, and it was so awkward.
Was it?
Yes.
For you, I
loved it.
loved
Was so awkward for me. I remember thinking, like, this is so weird. Wow, I don't know what to do. And then we didn't kiss for
2 months after that.
Until 2 months after that. So our goal was to try to not kiss until we were, engaged, but we didn't make it. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I think that you hit the nail right on the head.
Yeah, so that's our story, how we started dating. Stay tuned for the second story time video that we post. It will be the story of how we got engaged, and that is a good one, so you guys want to look out for it. Thanks for watching this video. Can you say?
Yep. Thanks for watching this video.
What else do I say?
We'd really appreciate it. Just thanks.
What?
Yeah.
What? What are you
Share it with
saying?
your friends, your family, your lovers, your loved ones. Share it with your neighbor. If you see your neighbor outside, share it with them. If you go to school, share it with people at your school. If you go to the old folks home, share it with people at the old folks home. If you go to Walmart, share it with people at Walmart. If you are into book clubs, share it with your book club. If you're into Bible studies, share it at your Bible study. If you're into
Alright!
share it at the Potters.
Okay, we are done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.